So speaking of top five, didn't you have the Mount Rushmore?
Yes, so I've asked this question to some of you, the best who have ever done it here in the UFC, to John Jones. Might have asked this to Mighty Mouse. I've asked this to Henry Cejudo, to the Lioness. Who's your Mount Rushmore of greatest MMA fighters of all time? Your four. Most impact, greatest MMA fighters.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about a Mount Rushmore, where their heads are carved in stone forever.
Yes.
You have to go Royce Gracie. No brainer. You have to do that. Amanda Nunes. Has to be Amanda Nunes, the greatest female fighter ever. The other two are tough. I would have to go with a John Jones. The guy's never been beat. And what's more amazing about him going undefeated, which is incredibly amazing because very few people do it in this sport, is the things that he's done to himself outside of the octagon, and he still hasn't been beat.
But is that no contest ever going to be overturned?
That no contest, believe me, I have battled to get that thing overturned, and it's almost impossible to do. That's the problem when you get incompetent people in there. That guy is as incompetent a referee as I've ever seen in my life. It was during a very weak period during the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The director was weak, and there were other weak people throughout the commission at that time. And, it's so hard to get that stuff overturned. It's just an example of how important it is to have the right people in there. Because John Jones should have a 0 after his name. And then number 4 on the Mount Rushmore. I guess you'd have to go with Chuck Liddell. Because at the point in time, he was as big a star as ever. And it's almost a coin flip. I think about it between Chuck Liddell and Forrest Griffin. And they're both from the same show, the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. And, Chuck became a massive star, was the highest paid guy in the company at the time, and all that stuff.
So you left off two guys notably, like Anderson Silva and GSP.
Anderson, yeah. Two guys. GSP, too. And if you look at what Anderson Silva did for Brazil and what GSP did for Canada, these guys who had impact on an entire country is very massive and very strong.